This one's going to be a real easy one. This one's a small appliance repair, a hot air popcorn maker that's got a bit of a problem with the power cord. So let's open this up and fix it. So this is a popcorn popper that my daughter brought to me and said, please fix it, it doesn't work. It appears to have a cord problem, so looks like the power cord. What quite often happens is right where the strain relief is, the power cord can get weak and fail, and that's what looks like happened on this one, because as you can see I'm able to stretch this, and well, I shouldn't be able to stretch wire. So I said I'd look at it and fix it up for her. I'm going to show you guys how these things come apart and what's in them. For those that haven't seen what's inside one of these hot air poppers, it's nothing really fancy. It's going to be a fan and a heating element and a switch, and probably well, there should be an over temperature thermal cutout in here as well. So we take out the screws that hold the base on, and this unit should come apart, I would think. There's a couple more screws. The top probably will come off this thing. Okay. Top comes off. And here's the unit itself. And as you'll see, there's not a whole heck of a lot in this thing. I've got a strain relief down at the base here. Some plastic that's removed the strain relief. We'll just squeeze the strain relief and remove it. I tell you, these strain reliefs are one of the harder connectors to actually remove once they're installed. They're really tough to get out of there. I think this one had some, what they did is they put the strain relief on this plastic as well, and then punched it through, and once it's pressed in place they're really difficult to get out. But now that I've got it removed, I can just shorten the cord a bit. We'll just take the remaining cord in and we can just splice it back to the existing tail. We'll just cut it back to the point before it broke. This is a heater cord that these things use, which is a heavy-duty version of a power cord. It's got a heavy-duty rubber jacket on it, but it's also quite a heavy wire. It's a it's a wire for a high-load resistive heater type, like a kettle or a toaster and stuff. You can see where the wires themselves just eventually they failed. So here's the heating unit here. It's got a small motor on it. It's a DC motor, in case you guys haven't noticed. Basically what they do is the power cord runs through there's a tap on the heater. So the heater inside here, it's got 3 wires coming out of it. It's got your neutral and it's got your power, but it's also got a tap on the heater which provides a lower voltage to run this motor, because this is probably a 12 or 20 or 18 volt motor that they're running. It's probably an 18 volt motor like you would find on like a cordless drill or something, right? And just a full wave rectifier. You don't need a filter capacitor or anything when you're running a motor, but it does require DC. So that's what the red wire here is. This is going to be a tap. So because this is a relatively high current type device, we're going to do what they call the Electrician's wrap. So I'm just going to open up a bit more of the cord here, just so that I have a little more copper that's exposed, so they have a little more copper to work with. And then we'll match. The cord itself does have a marker on here for polarity, even though the plug is not polarized. So this is an electrician's wrap. We're going to twist the wires together like this and then solder them. And get the wire good and hot to make sure we have a very good bond. Now we'll give it the heat gun treatment to shrink the heat shrink. And now this unit is ready to reassemble. So we'll pull the extra cord out. Take it almost down to where that splice is. And now, of course, the fun part will be getting the strain relief back in, which should be a little bit easier than it was to take it out. So basically what we do is we put the cord in here and we're going to squeeze this piece in on it, which will put a kink in the cord, which becomes the strain relief. And then once we get this thing squeezed down sufficiently, we should be able to stuff it back into that hole and complete the repair and put it back together. But see, these go back together a lot easier than they come apart. Like that. That's how those pop back in. Now I just have to reset the unit and get the switch lined up and get the screws back into it, which might also be easier said than done. It should go in like this. Line up the switch with the body. I think I got it there, and now I should be able to put the screws in the bottom and hopefully they will line up. Okay, that's got the base of the unit back. We'll just plug this thing into power. Of course, I got to plug this into unisolated power. And there it works. And it gets warm. So, put the top back on and send this one back on its way. Say this thing's been to a war and back. It's all cracked and broken. This thing's ancient, but hey, it still works. Popcorn, anyone? We'll catch you in the next one real soon. Bye for now.